President Trump deploying National Guard troops to patrol the streets of D.C. to help fight crime there. The question is, could they also be sent to other cities? And is Oakland next?
And listen, for all you people out there that have that Trump derangement syndrome and thinking that, oh, Trump's using his presidential power, acting like a dictator. I've been hearing it in the comments, and that's not what's going on. You gotta understand, if there's an area in the country that has crime going crazy where the local law enforcement can't even handle the situation, it's getting to the point where, yes, the federal government has to step in temporarily, and they've already mentioned this. 30 days, they're gonna be there in D.C.
Tonight, Oakland Mayor Barbara Lee is sounding off after the president called the East Bay city out during a news conference. His comments? The PD recently announced crime in the town is trending down. We begin tonight with NBC Bay Area's Pete Serratos.
Tonight, the National Guard is en route to Washington, D.C., and according to a White House official, are expected to be on the ground tomorrow. It comes after President Trump announced plans to send 800 National Guard members to help with law enforcement in D.C. It's not clear where they will be deployed.
This is Liberation Day in D.C., and we're going to take our capital back.
The deployment is coming despite crime stats from the U.S. Attorney's Office showing violent crime in D.C. at a 30-year low. And President Trump also saying he could take similar actions in other U.S. cities.
New York has a problem. And then you have, of course, Baltimore and Oakland. We don't even mention that anymore. They're so far gone.
Here in the Bay Area, new numbers from Oakland PD show crime trending down in the first 6 months of the year, with violent crime down by 29%. Mayor Barbara Lee is responding to the president's remarks, saying President Trump's characterization of Oakland is wrong and not grounded in facts, but in fear-mongering. This is not leadership. It's an attempt to score cheap political points by tearing down communities he doesn't understand. Councilmember Ken Houston saying the stats show Oakland is turning the corner, but there's still plenty of work to be done.
Because right now, crime is really down. The bipping, you don't see the bipping, the Cadillac converters, the stolen cars, that's all down. But we do have to do what? Get a handle of the gun violence.
Other community leaders say the National Guard in Oakland could cause division in the city.
There will be political unrest, and then we'll be expecting a lot of rallies and protests happening.
While no decision has been made by the president on sending troops to Oakland, law enforcement experts say such a move could cause confusion between local and federal officers.
And if the National Guard goes to Oakland, everybody in Oakland, the Bay Area, California, you all can peacefully protest. But if you get stupid, yeah, you're going to jail. Someone that was living in California, literally about 30 minutes away from Oakland. Oakland is bad. Oakland is not good. Crime is not going down there. And this was about a year ago since I've left California. Everything in the Bay Area is bad. Even the city I was in was bad. It was a small city, smaller than Oakland, but still crime was pretty crazy. You see all these things on the news about people getting shot, stabbed, and there's a lot of unreported crime as well. And this is something I realized after editing one of my other videos, a police video, is that a lot of crime goes unreported, especially during the last administration. During the Biden administration, when they were all talk about, sanctuary cities and defund the police, they discouraged police officers around the nation to not do their duties of enforcing the law. So if you're not enforcing if you're telling your officers don't enforce the law, and crime happens and officers don't respond, that crime does not become a statistic anymore. This is something that the left and the Democrats don't let the American people know. So you got to account for the unreported crime as well.
And traditionally getting tough on crime is not controversial, but the White House is facing opposition from D.C. leaders after it vowed to help clean up D.C. streets.
This issue directly impacts the functioning of the federal government and is a threat to America. Really, it's a threat to our country. We have other cities also that are bad.
We also got a statement from D.C. City Council. They responded to Trump saying this is a manufactured intrusion on local authority. Violent crime in the district is at the lowest rates we have seen in 30 years. The statement goes on to say federalizing the police department is unwarranted because there is no federal emergency. But guys, crime is still happening, including overnight. There was a fatal shooting roughly 1 mile from the White House. Now we're hearing from D.C.'s U.S. attorney, who is urging local leaders to stiffen the punishments criminals may face for crimes both big and small.
We've got to repeal these laws of the left-leaning D.C. Council, one member of whom I just indicted recently, and we've got to make this place safe for the people in the district.
D.C.'s sole congressional delegate is calling this all political overreach, but D.C.'s police union is applauding the White House for taking action.
In order to fix this problem and make sure that it doesn't ebb and flow and that the feds come in and we lower crime and then they leave and we're left holding the bag, it's very important that people know that there is underlying legislation that needs to be corrected so that we can actually properly staff this police department in order to properly police the city.
Now, the president says he's open to additional crime crackdowns in major cities like Chicago and Los Angeles. The mayor of Chicago said if Trump were to send the National Guard, that it would destabilize the city. That's the quote out of Chicago.
And listen, for all you people out there that have that Trump derangement syndrome and thinking that, oh, Trump's using his presidential power, acting like a dictator. I'm even hearing it in the comments, and that's not what's going on. You gotta understand, if there's an area in the country that has crime going crazy where the local law enforcement can't even handle the situation, it's getting to the point where, yes, the federal government has to step in temporarily, and they've already mentioned this. 30 days, they're gonna be there in DC to help stabilize this place. That way it gets to the point where the local law enforcement can then take over again and then continue their duties in protecting and serving the city. But having the National Guard in areas of the country is not a bad thing. President Trump is not using the Guard to take over the country, to take over innocent American citizen lives and making us, go backtrack to the point where we are not now allowing Trump to become a dictator. That's not gonna happen. This is where we, the people, rise if it gets to that type of situation. And we won't allow it. I'll be with you guys if that moment ever comes. Everybody else will too. But right now, we have crime that we have allowed to happen because of the last administration, many administrations, not just Biden, Obama, Republicans as well in the past. I've said this a while back, as soon as Trump became president. As soon as he became president, he was talking about the mass deportations. He's putting a whole reset button on this country to its founding, as close as we can get. Because at this point in 2025, there's so many things in the Constitution that the verbiage is different. The language of how they wrote the Constitution, there's certain things that could be misconstrued today in today's day. So this is why there are certain things that get struggled with, and especially because of many years of being in this country and having this country, we've had to make modifications to our government and how we run this place, and making sure that it doesn't become a place where we're not secured. We're not allowing random people to just come into this country, take over, and reap benefits that are the system that we have. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. Like and subscribe, I would appreciate it. Till next time, peace out, everybody.